holiday, relaxing, not too much stress. We're good.
Brenda, can I just ask Brenda and Stacy's permission to add them to our paper agenda? Or not agenda, but like our sign.
Yes, please do.
Yes, you have my permission. Thank you.
I'll review the library exits. Everyone here, Brenda and Stacy, I'll let you review your own exits at home in case there's any issues at home. Comments or questions from the public not related to items on the agenda. I do not see any public present at the time, so we'll move on from that. Any board member have any additions or deletions from the posted agenda?
Can we just add the report from the foundation?
Absolutely.
Very super quick, but
So I will add that.
be after the friends.
7A.
Yeah.
Will be the foundation. Okay, any other changes? Okay, first.
We don't have, can you tell us? One day.
Is it town meeting TV or Brenda?
Town meeting TV.
Back
Refreshments.
noise.
It is not, but I can
mute them.
We'll do that to 8A after the directed report, because I'm sure William was mentioned this. We're now sending out in this topic. Thank you.
What are we, for?
8A, we're going to have a discussion at this time Sunday or the Franklin's and.
Oh yeah, did you hear we're open on Sundays now?
Still on the same. Looks great. I've heard it in the public. It's been in the public. Okay. Action, approval of the minutes from the board, so, the board
We just need to
meeting.
make the addition that it's November 13th, not whatever it was, the original agenda.
So, with that noted, everyone reviewed the minutes? I encourage a motion to,
I will move to approve the minutes of November 13th. That's written.
any second? Holly will second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
I and Stacy have said aye on the board, so, and any opposed? Okay, motion passes, thank you. Welcome to remarks. Again, we got a busy agenda today. I'd like to leave as much time at the end, but there are some important things as part of our normal business we need to do. Does anyone have a cutoff time at 7? Or can we go a little further than 7 if need be? Okay, so we'll try not to stay till 9, obviously, but we try to see how the discussion goes. We'll try and see how the discussion goes. Right, we may not, we'll see.
I have to step out at 6:30 for a minute to talk to a group that's using the library after hours, but that's.
Great, but so we'll get to you, make sure you have time. Okay. So again, looking forward to 2026. Actually, as I said earlier, I'm glad you're still part of the board, that you haven't started this discussion. Our latest agenda item is this strength, weakness, opportunity, threat discussion. This is the starting of just us getting ideas together. It's an exercise Don and I were talking earlier, I've done 100 times in all my jobs and everything. It's something just to promote thinking and just trying to get ideas and coalescing around ideas. So hopefully, has anyone not done these before? Okay. We will work. I'll explain it. It's pretty straightforward, but and sometimes it's fun. We can try and make it some fun as well. Sometimes it's not, but most of the time.
Says the engineer who does so many.
I know.
The post-its are fun.
That's trying to make it fun.
The software. The bonds one.
So, again, welcome, again, Bree, you'll come in there, but the library is now open on Sundays, the library staff has done a great job. And the foundation supported that, and it sounds like it's going well, so we'll get more comments from Bree when we get to her report. So Friends of the Library.
Friends of the
Okay,
library.
got it.
So November book sale were $499.18, and December was $694.86. That's awesome.
Do they have us that monthly goal? Is it like 500?
The books on CD sale have officially ended, and luckily they were able to donate them to stores where they hope to find good homes. Putting out the word that the bookshop is looking for more good book donations on the front porch forum, and we will have our first donuts for donations on Sunday, January 18th from 10 to 1 in the library. And then I will not read all of this, but the winter concert series begins. And the November was the Friends Month right in the word from your library column in another paper, and they used it to talk about the upcoming winter concert series. And then sadly, Mary lets us know that they have lost two wonderful volunteers. Rita Bortz passed away in November, and this past week Iris McDonald died unexpectedly. And they were dedicated workers and avid supporters of the South Burlington Public Library, and they will miss them very much. She says hello to everybody.
Did they mention where they're doing their donuts for donations in the library?
They're Sunday at the library.
Oh, so it's inside the library somewhere, or is it just gonna be like their welcome?
It's the welcome thing.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that they combine them.
I think so, too.
And it's gonna be out in the lobby, or is it gonna be like?
It says the
in
library foyer from 10 to 1.
Library for, okay, great. I didn't hear foyer.
That's okay, I might not have said it.
I see what they did there though.
10 to 1.
Any other
18.
18?
Mhm.
Any other comments for
That's
the
what I
proxy of Donna with the minutes?
She did not say, Margie. I think they've secured them, and if you donate a book, you get a donut. Okay.
But do people who don't donate a book also get a donut?
I did.
They're welcome.
I did not believe that was gonna happen. I think you have to donate a book.
It's very clear donations for donuts.
There is a barter.
Okay, well, question for Mary.
Take one of the free ones from the.
Any other things for Donna? Okay. 7A foundation.
Okay, very briefly, the foundation's going great. We've made over $35,000 this fiscal year, so since July. And we've made $6,000 from the annual appeal. I think it's more than that, having entered a lot of these. But of last count was $6,000. We were at the Sunday grand opening with hot chocolate. It was awesome. And the coffee bar is up and running, provided by the foundation, and the digital New York Times subscription, which we might talk about more, is going awesome. So thank you to the foundation.
Okay, any questions for Anne for foundation?
Oh, you guys have stickers now. But that project's coming to do too.
TBD.
Oh, that's
Just
later,
Jen.
next one.
Hey, director's report, Bree. Please
Hey.
share what you have.
Well, I had like 5 minutes here, so.
You can take as much time as you need.
No, I mean, it sounds like that there's a couple of things that folks want to talk about. So let's talk about Sundays. We are open on Sundays now, so yay. And actually, I have to say, like, the staff we're more staffed on Sunday than we are on Saturdays, just because, oh yeah, Stacy was in the library all afternoon and it was great. We had 289 people on Sunday. Just to give you some context, the day before, which was Saturday, we had 311. So
I was here on that Saturday and it felt so busy, so I would imagine that 289 feels really good. It was cold this weekend.
yeah, and it was like the early shift, I guess you could say, like the early couple hours were mostly young families. So many. Yeah, and a lot of families that were like, we've never been here before, or we're from a different community, like a home card library community, or we were out shopping and, this was a great place for us to take a break. And so exactly kind of what we were thinking. And then as the day went on, it kind of shifted to, I came in to pick up my hold and yay, I can get it now. Or it's professionals, younger professionals, or single people doing computer and work. I think as students return, especially to some of these areas, over here, we'll see more people studying or doing work. A couple of teachers were like, oh, I've got to get my lesson plans ready, and this is a nice quiet place to do it. So, and then we had all the folks who like to come in for company and warmth and bathrooms and all of that as well. And so that was also another great use of the library and the space. The computers were busy. So just like a regular day, busy like any other day here at the library. So I think it went really well. The staff that was hired to work that Sunday schedule is very happy to be working the schedule that they were hired for. Because before that, it's been a little piecemeal as we fit people in. And so it's going really well.
I'm sure the staff was working, was appreciative of having people there to show that the day was.
Proof of concept
Yes.
work, check, yes, yes. And, you know, I think it will only grow as word gets out. And we also are fairly well staffed on that day, more so than Saturday in the children's area. And so it opens up an opportunity for maybe some programming in the children's area, to be determined, because it was one day. So we're just letting it go. And we'll see what happens. Okay. Did you want to talk about your Sunday refreshments before we get off Sunday? And then I can go on to other
While we
things.
do, so, this Sunday is the board's day to support the library being open. Foundation was last Sunday. So we're looking for volunteers or people who can come and support from, I think the foundation was from 9 to noon.
9 to noon, yeah.
Mhm.
So anyone else has any?
I'll have to say
comments on that?
Penny left a ton of, or,
We have some
Yeah.
having extra stuff. There's extra hot chocolate and a little bit of chocolate milk,
They love the chocolate milk. The
and
little
there's
kids.
whipped cream. Oh, we should probably request whipped cream.
No, the whipped
no,
cream's been in the
it's
fridge. It's been in the
it's
fridge since she brought it in.
There's 4 containers.
No, they're
cans.
the
They're like still in it.
sugar
Mhm.
So the whipped cream and hot chocolate, they only went through half their hot chocolates, so I think we would need to top up the chocolate milks because they were popular.
Okay.
And that was like chocolate milk juice boxes or whatever, you know.
It wasn't.
Anything else we want to add to your?
And we had cookies, then. Cookies and we also had marshmallows and,
Okay,
but
Stacy just said she can be there from 11. So what else do we need to purchase? Some chocolate milks, right?
chocolate milks, just like individual chocolate milks, cookies, marshmallows, like mini marshmallows.
Probably regular milk to mix the chocolate into.
Oh, right, too.
So you went with
It was
Kevin to-
water.
Oh, it was a water.
No,
Oh, who-
Penny
Penny.
did it. Yeah.
So who
I don't know.
can, I guess is anyone volunteering to go get that food?
If you give me the list, I can pick some stuff up. Yeah, shoot me a list. I'm happy to.
It doesn't have to be cost, it doesn't have to be,
Yeah, so Brandon, I will send you a list of what we need
Great.
and you'll pick that up, and bring it at 9 o'clock, have it ready, 8:30, 9 o'clock,
On Sunday. Yep.
okay?
I can be there from 9 to 10.
I can be, so,
and 8:30.
so let's make it great again, so we need some people from 8:30, who can be available at 8:30? So Don and I and Brenda will do 8:30, help with the setup. I can stay till 10:30,
I can also say to 10 a.m.
Okay.
Come in at 10:30.
okay, 10:30 to noon, will be
Okay.
with me. Right, Stacy's 11 to noon, and Stacy, you'll help with breakdown or whatever cleanup? Yes, okay, and Whitney, you can help with that?
Sure.
Okay, do we have any, so we have 2 people basically the whole time, if anyone else wants to join, feel free, Ashley, you said 10 o'clock?
9 to 10. 9 to 10.
Okay,
I'll try to get here a little earlier too.
okay. And you've done your time?
I'm
so-
not.
And I will stop by from, it's not my day that I work, but I'll stop by like 9 to 11, just to make.
So, I think we're good,
I will send the email,
you'll do
I'll
it.
send the email if you need a copy, because. Yeah, I had pictures of the event, so you can look and see it for sure.
And so, to tell you, we will have tables and chairs ready for you. So 2 tables and chairs. We'll have the hot chocolate urns from the senior center.
Okay.
So that you can keep it hot. There's a hot water pot in the staff kitchen. So you have to put the powder in and, you know, mix it all around and all of that. And we have tablecloths that say South Burlington Public Library. So those will go on the table. So all that'll be
And we have
ready.
Cups with lids.
We need cups. How many? I don't know. There were extra.
Yeah, there were extra, but.
So, and we'll
I'll
get the
find it.
supplies,
I'll
Brenda
find
is the purchaser.
Yeah.
and
Yep, get it
we-
to me and I'll hit up Costco or whatever works best.
Okay, thank you, Brenda, that's awesome.
And I think if you leave the extra supplies either for like the library or for the friends,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
the foundation kind of did that.
We will pass it on.
Okay, great.
We can always use the cups with the lids in the new coffee mug.
Can we bend no money? Brenda?
Yeah, so Brendan, what you can do is give me the final tally and then I'll let the whole board know and then everyone can.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Does Brenda have the tax reform?
Such a,
It should be tax free, right? Does Brenda have the tax reform?
I don't know.
Brenda, do you have the tax reform?
No, I don't, but if, yeah, shoot that along with, I don't, but I'll connect between now and then.
I made a new one because, it's my name now.
Woo-hoo.
I can't
The
believe.
credit card still has my name, Jennifer's name on it.
I looked at the picture and I was like, that one's with the parade.
They were just washed.
Okay, so like a
but-
little better. It was a little.
Well, so
Sure, it was.
what happens is they're round tablecloths and they try to fit them on rectangular
The
tables.
problem is that it was in the tri parade. That's what the actual problem. So we used it as a banner and we stuffed it in the backpack. So
Oh.
that's why I feel personally. like
I did-
you did do that. Like it looks kind of like it's been stuffed in the backpack.
They probably aren't gonna be any better, but we do have an iron in the library of things if it.
Well, if everyone feels okay about this, then I'll let it go.
We'll look at it, decide. whether-
Yeah, okay.
We should iron it. We should iron it.
Yeah, if they're downstairs, when I go out at 6:30, do you want me to bring them and you can take
They
them
might make
home?
us try.
Yeah. If they look like they need ironing, then bring them in. I'll iron.
I know, I put them back in a bin and it was just kind of a stuff in a bin kind of situation because they don't fold very well. So, but they're clean.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
We will figure out how to. Any other comments? Appreciate everyone's support for that. Again, I'm glad it's going well. So, well,
okay, what else do I have? Well, I just thought, since I don't have a ton of time, but because there's other stuff I'm gonna talk about that's important. I thought I'd hand you guys out this. This is an infographic I made to share with city council in our budget discussions.
Let's put this everywhere.
And it's, oh, no, it's coming around. I'm sorry, the colors are a little off on some of the copies, but this is the kind of some stats from FY 25. So when I have to present the budget to city council, it's not just like, here's the budget. You kind of have to visualize it with pictures of like smiling babies and kids and stuff. And I didn't really know or we tend to use the same smiling babies and kids and people. It's all Holly's family, I think.
You have a very good.
This looks nice too.
This is.
Yeah, but I did do some stuff and Sue provided me with a lot of numbers and I was just kind of like, what do we want to see? What's important? And so this was one of many visualizations. The others were like bar graphs, so this is a little more exciting. But this is I had the distinct privilege of presenting on a time that I was not here on a budget that I did not. And so I was like, well, at least I can do some stuff like an infographic. And so that's kind of some of the work that we were doing. That feels like forever ago, but I wanted to just show you some of the work that goes in behind the scenes. And otherwise, some of the stuff that we are talking about or that has been happening at the library, we are talking about it here with the library cards and some of the changes in children's. And you know, I'm just going to put on your radar, and I put on a couple of your radars as you come to talk to me. We are having some issues with certain patrons that are a little bit more problematic. We've had to call dispatch a couple of times on a couple of different people. And so we have made an incident report that's online for leadership to fill out just to track. It's for all behaviors. So, you know, not just like bad behavior, but if we've had a couple of groups that are using the library that's like, oh, they left that really messy, like next time talk to them. It's more of like kind of a communication tool between staff that's not on like Microsoft Teams. I mean, or our little like patron interactions that are, yay, or, you know, that's nice. But anyway, I have kind of shot two cases up to the city of two patrons that are really, they're on their last legs. So if you hear about the library, like trespassing someone, and it's not, I don't have that authority, that's a police matter, but, it's not something that we're wanting to do, a lot, but, one patron hasn't successfully left the library without dispatch the last 3 times they visited, so, it creates a lot of work and a lot of strain on the staff. Yes.
So I'm just curious, when you said you brought it to the city, to take it to the city, or do you just discuss it with the police when you're?
Well, I mean, the police have been like, can we trespass these people? And I was like, well, I don't have the authority. That's a city manager call.
Oh, the city manager, okay.
And so but it has been, we're having conversations about like, yes, after you've explained to me this, you have the power to do X, or whatever. So it's just navigating this. I think it's a lot of navigation for not only the library, but for the city itself.
Yeah.
And I can't say enough about the Howard Center outreach team. They've been fantastic. And the South Burlington Police Department, they've been fantastic. And the police department is going to be doing our January training, and doing some kind of like, just putting a face to the names and the numbers and humanizing the police, because some of our staff is a little reluctant to call them, or am I going to get in trouble? Or, you have these kind of feelings. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there any training from your time with the staff that you think we need to do for the staff, or do you think like that?
Well, I think- wow. How apropos. Okay, so, but the police are gonna do some, trainings and like practical de-escalation trainings, best practices and waking someone up, like kind of trainings. That's gonna be, January. They're also gonna be back in March for our full day, where it's a full day training and doing some tabletop scenarios. The fire department is gonna do our February training, which is gonna be our every 6 months Narcan training. And also train staff on AED usage and some basic first aid. Yeah, so I think we're working it.
The other one is the code of conduct for obviously
Yes.
agenda item here. Is there any need for us to make that more, communicate that out more publicly as a proactive way to get in front of people as to how you're supposed to behave in the library? Is there a positive way would that be helpful, or do you?
I don't really think so. I think it's there, it serves its purpose. I think the idea of like reasonableness, in the library, using the library reasonably, is something that the police have really talked to me and our leadership about, like, and I think that, the city is using our code of conduct to think about a whole building policy for City Hall. And that's really nice. The library is leading the way. And I think that some of the conversations that I've had with City Hall have been kind of like, hey, look, we've got this. And so Jesse and the Chief Bro are actually on doing some policy work. And I think we can.
Because one of the things that you and I had a conversation today, or an hour or two after one of the incidents happened, I walked away and I kind of felt a little like I was trying to help, but I wasn't sure how I can help. And it feels like it's all on your staff, and I guess I'm looking for ways, whether that's a communication activity publicly to say, hey, when you're in the library, here's in a positive way to try and get that out. Something that we can do as a board to somehow support you, because it's all falling on you and the Howard Center employees. And I felt, as I left, I felt bad.
Yeah.
That I felt for the leadership of the library, that we do anything to help with this, and I guess I'm throwing help and ask, is there anything?
You're not the only person that's felt bad about this, but at some point, yeah, these are, some of these issues are beyond even they're not library issues, they are happening in the library. And that is different.
We've said the library is the public place. So
right.
we're almost bringing that here in a different way.
But you know, I would say 99% of our patrons are like amazing, whether they are housed or unhoused, old or young, you know, whatever, they're amazing patrons. And these are the outliers that we have to have some, you know, yeah.
Is there any need or desire, and really I'm asking this directly to you, Bree, for some kind of policy that gives you a little bit more power, where it's like if someone's been asked to leave a set number of times, then they're not welcome back for a year or something like that, that just like makes it. Yeah.
We're working towards it, but we as the library doesn't have the authority to trespass someone. It is a police action. It's kind of like we can ask someone to leave.
Yeah.
And if they don't leave, we have to call the police and the police have to ask them to leave and they have to listen to the police. Like.
Right, so no policy we write will force them out, it's just like.
Right. And you know, we were kind of working on that, like, if you've had so many infractions, you know, but if so, then if this infraction happens, does that, like, if it becomes physical, is it something? And it's really challenging, so we're really hoping that the city's work that they're doing is going to help inform our stuff, but we're getting there. And I think that the incident report that we created has really given staff kind of some proactive things. And it's not just punitive incident report. It's like someone tripped and fell down the stairs. That's where it goes. Or someone had a medical incident. You know, we did have someone in a medical incident the other day and had to call an ambulance.
Can we just step through like the process? Because I imagine it's different than you have to leave the library right now to, you can't come back for, you know, X length of time. And can you just kind of like explain that? So the process would be to the cities to trust them for an amount of time? And how does that?
It's kind of nebulous right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are no kind of set defined metrics right now, and so we are.
But the police can't say it. It has to come from the city council?
The city manager's office has that, yeah, I mean, like I've been in a meeting with an officer, like the third time he took the person out and he's like, really should trespass this guy. Like, he can't.
Yeah.
So we're working on all of that. And I think part of it's being new. I think maybe Jennifer being here for 10 years and the relationship she had with the city council or city manager might have been a little bit more. They've had some discussions, but there's nothing written down.
Yeah.
What does it mean to trespass? Mean they can't come back?
Yeah.
Like ever?
Like for a certain amount of time. It's a legal document, like, you know, for a week. Or when we had the fight, because the one of the people was trespassed for 72 hours. The other one wasn't anything. So like it was a little, you know.
Is that an impactful amount of time?
72 hours longer.
Yeah, and so the police just make that.
I think it's just one of their standard time measures. Diffuse the situation, don't come back for 3 days, calm down.
Have most of the incidents happened upstairs?
Not all. I mean, we've had some stuff happen downstairs too, but again, we're hoping to use this incident report as a informational kind of sharing tool for not only the leadership who are creating it, but for the staff who can read it. But it's not like, I just helped someone use the computer, yay! Like we have another kind of, you know, way to talk about that, but these are more like, yeah. And I don't want to like share too much in this public forum about some of the stuff that's in there because it's still.
Yeah, I was thinking about like perception of safety, like if it's, you know, if the kids' families are down there and a thing is happening, like what's the, you know.
There's a lot of incidents that happen in the kids areas that violate the kids code of conduct policies too. You know, I mean, there's, you know, they also have to learn to use the space reasonably. And so, but children's takes that, you know, so you're not calling the dispatch for that.
Does staff feel supported in the hours like Saturdays and Sundays when there isn't other city staff here and it's just.
Facilities is here on Saturday. We are alone in the building on Sunday.
Is there anything you need from us to help you during those time periods?
Well,
Your first calls the police.
on a Sunday, the first call will be the police because there's also not the Howard Center. Howard Center does not open on Saturday or Sunday.
Well, that's something you just have to.
It's something we have to navigate, you know. And we had facilities had advocated in the budgeting process for a half-time facilities person that would cover this building on Sundays.
Gotcha.
And that didn't pass, that didn't get in the budget, so, you know, talk to your friends who might be on city council, talk to your neighbors, your voters, and all of that, because it's not just the library that makes this building run, library staff. It's other departments too.
There are a lot of positives with that.
Yeah, but I mean, like facilities is another layer of people in the building and, you know, so. Yeah.
Alright. Anything else?
I think I'm gonna reserve time for our meeting to talk about some of these other important things. I guess you did talk about New York Times. That's going swimmingly. I gave the foundation a report on that on usage, but we've had, I think the tickets, you know, in the month of December was like over 200 or 240 or 230 codes or something like that. And it was over 1,600 articles read with those. So people are really using it, as well as almost 400 logins just from Wi-Fi in and around our building. I've walked by many people's offices in City Hall and they're reading the New York Times.
And that's cool because it's in the first month or so. I mean, this is right from the gate.
Yeah,
Paying attention.
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's anything else, Bree, we'll reserve for later. Committee reports, Finance Committee, Brenda, I will throw it to you if you have any updates overall from finance. Do you have any?
No, and we haven't met, and we'll look at that sometime in the next month just to get up where we're going so far. But I see the user fee summaries here.
Yeah, so Bree sent a note out about fees for that. So Bree, I guess I'll bring it
Yeah.
back to you.
Yeah. I don't know if
So
anybody.
I attached our current fee structure
Mhm.
to the email, so then Bree was gonna share the details as to what she'd
Yeah.
like to discuss.
Does anyone need a printed copy of this? This is, I think Anne just has that.
The progression.
Some of the rationale, I don't know if anyone needs this. Here, yeah, it was, I think, sent, but, just, so, you know, we put the interlibrary loan, form online, yay. And it was always like, okay, we're gonna do the library cards now. Our library cards are very complicated. And so in part of that, we wanted to simplify. But we also looked at everything involving library cards, which included these fees. So we are proposing, and you know, it's definitely led by Sue and in circulation, that we increase our non-resident fees from $25 to $35. There hasn't been an increase in a very long time. She took a survey of other libraries and what they charge, and you can see some of those figures there. We're by far the lowest. And now that Burlington we used to make a lot of money from Burlington residents joining into the home card system because Burlington wasn't part of home card. Now that they are, it's not a revenue stream for the library at all anymore. And we currently only have about 14 non-resident patrons, which is fine. But so we're not talking about increasing like fees on a huge number of people. The other thing that we are kind of talking about with this, and we had charged $10 for temporary fees, temporary cards as well. In the new restructuring of the library cards, the only people who are receiving temporary cards are people without an address. And we chose not to charge them $10. So that $10 is being maybe recouped with the increase in $10 here. Also, the physical and digital collections have increased a lot and people are using our digital collections a lot. They're pretty expensive. And then the state of Vermont Library recommends that a non-resident fee should align with local capita per tax support or whatever. And that they figured that out for us and it would be around $57. So we're suggesting to 35. You guys maybe could suggest to more if you want, but I think like basically the increase pays for the increase in materials, especially digital materials that cost a lot more.
Do you know anything about those 14 people? Like I'm like, why aren't you going up to 57? It's a palace here and it's worth.
Well, that's up to you guys. We're just like, we take $10 more,
So-
you know, so I
I guess
just
I would
think,
entertain a motion to take it from 25 to 35, and then we can have a discussion. So does anyone want to make that motion?
Move to take it to 35.
I'll second it.
Second, okay, so the motion said now we can have the discussion. So-
I'm just, yeah, I'm curious if we know anything about those folks too, that will have the direct impact and.
I mean, we just are happy with that. If you guys want to talk about it more, we shouldn't exceed, you know, and we don't, if you look at like Fletcher Free, they charge $50. They also charge $175 to out of state people who get cards.
That makes sense to me, I think, because there's all the like seasonal vacation.
Mhm. And we just don't offer out of state
Yeah.
cards. So yeah.
For me, it's always that balance of accessibility and
Mhm.
costs, but this one seems to be a really narrow wedge.
It's a really narrow wedge of people, probably people who do not work in South Burlington. People who don't have access to home card through wherever they live. And I'm not exactly, most of around here has home card.
Just
Or
feels
it's
like a
just convenient.
just lean into the.
Because ultimately, if you have an address, you
Yeah.
most likely can go to your local area, get a home card and
Right.
get here to avoid this fee. So it's not like the fee
Yeah.
is gonna discourage people. It's only the people who may not have an address.
Well, they had, so our folks who don't have an address,
Can get the.
they get a temporary card.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the pattern of accessibility. I don't think changing this fee would restrict anyone's.
No, and librarians hate to restrict anyone's access,
Right,
you know,
right.
this is, but looking at this as we're making all of the changes, we just thought, okay, 35 is more reasonable, but I will say to the board, if you want to make it more, that is a purview of the board, we're suggesting 35.
It's annually, right? 35.
Yes.
These are people who within the last year have come in here and done this.
Mhm.
So if they come back again, whatever the fee is, are they offered information about home cards? Because I just don't know who these people are.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm asking. Who are these 14 people?
Yeah, it could be someone who lives in St. Albans,
Okay.
who
Okay,
works
so-
here, you know,
That's the
so.
thing too, right? If it
Who
feels
doesn't
like.
work here, but maybe they've come to the shopping here or the hospital.
So many folks like work in these home card towns too, like so when we're thinking about Ted's accessibility.
Not all towns give people who
Okay.
work in their
Gotcha.
town a home card privilege, or like, they might give them a library card to
Yeah.
like their city library or something.
Yeah.
I think-
Or if you work in the area and it's just easier, you say to yourself, for $35 a year, I don't have the time to go back and forth at home, but I'm here every day, so it's money well spent for me just to join the South Burlington Library.
Yeah.
You know, it's convenience.
I mean, I would be open to increasing it more because I think it's still in line, but I also feel that there is possibly a stepwise.
Yeah, I wonder if
Commit
it's
to
like
the-
35 and then 50 the
Right,
following
and see
year.
what 35 does, see what the numbers are and see what.
Right,
they
we raised the fee since 2021, so in 2026, we're gonna raise it to 35. Could look at it again in another
Yeah.
year and do something, but
It's $10
incrementally, so it feels like.
Everything's getting so expensive.
So if we're trying to, if this is hopefully gonna get $140, but you lose 30 people, now you've lost her. Right, so.
Right, and we're not really looking at this like a revenue
Yeah.
maker, we're trying to get more in line with other libraries in the area, just also too.
Do you have an idea of how much money we lost with Burlington or.
A couple $1,000, I think.
I think we had budgeted 2,600 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But they can't, with a home card, you can't use the library of things, right?
yeah, you can.
Oh, you can, you can use that. You can-
Yeah, the only thing you can't do with a home card here is you can't check out the passes, like the museum passes. Those are for South Burlington residents only. And you can't you have to interlibrary loan from your home card library. And I think that's about it. You can reserve rooms, you can use the recording studio, you can use computers, books. The digital collections are, tied to, like South Burlington's digital collection is more robust than, let's say, like a smaller town's.
So I would love to like formally propose if folks were amenable, like 35 this year with a planned 50 next year, and we can start communicating these things without, instead of doing 35 this year and then having to remember to have this conversation again next year, but allows us to let people know, and maybe folks don't know that they have home card access, so it also gives like a transition year.
Yeah, I think this should be an annual discussion.
Yeah.
Is about that, so maybe we amend.
Yeah.
I think we should not go to 50. My reasoning is if it was 10 in 2021 and we're not actually looking to make money with this.
It was 25. It was 10 for our temporary.
But it says that it was raised in 2021 and it had been $10 for many years.
At that point, it had been.
So 5 years ago it was $10.
Oh,
If we raise it to 50 next year, that is a five-fold.
Okay.
Five times.
Thanks for your.
I hear that and I'm like, the world's getting expensive, so then there's that counter of like, so don't make this one expensive, but it seems like everything costs so much. I mean, it's so right.
Just that the optics of quintupling over the course of 5 years seems bad to me.
That's very.
Like that sounds like we're being added. I don't want to do that.
So just an annual evaluation, I guess.
So the motion would be amended to take the 35 with an annual year. Okay, any other discussion on that? So Don, do you have the motion?
Yep.
So the motion is to increase the fee, non-resident fee from 25 to 35, and we'll somehow remind ourselves that once a year we will look at this.
Okay. Do you guys know if the non-resident card can get passes?
No.
No, okay. That's also the only limitation that it has?
100%.
So you have a call to vote.
So I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Stacy?
Yes.
Okay, all those present or voted yes, the motion passed. Thank you. Anything else, Brenda? I don't have anything else for your agenda, correct?
Nope, that's
Okay.
great. That's great.
Governance and nominations. Do we want to do child safety first?
Yeah, that's the big, sorry.
Yeah.
So bring a motion passed to go to 35 with an annual review.
Okay.
So I do want to mention before we move on that there was that Bree's been doing a lot of cleaning up of the policies, but it's all been procedural, so we don't really need to bring it before the board, but I just wanted to point out that she's removing Jennifer's information, contact information, and there was also a change to the room rental policy so that library staff can cancel reservations after 30 minutes.
Room reservation, not rental.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
if they,
If they pay.
yeah, if they pay, we're just gonna keep it. Yeah.
Month. So just so that we're aware.
Oh, $35 with an annual review is what it said.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, so child safety. That was a big one. So that Bree and the staff have been working on and brought their concerns forward, and they made a lot of sense, and everybody had a chance to look through it and see the changes, obviously bringing up into compliance with the Vermont law for 9 years and older. Together passed.
I have it up on the screen too, if you didn't.
Thanks. So I do want to say, like, when I was putting this together for Chad, since we had already approved the draft, it seemed this was the best place to bring it up. But if you go to the last bullet point, photographing, filming, and recording, anyone under 18 in the library is not permitted to have written permission from a parent or caregiver. And my concern is that we were trying to make sure that all of the labels were accurate. And so caregiver, but caregiver can refer to somebody who's 16 years old, so I would like to change that to guardian, which was what it was before.
That's right, it's the caregiver's line.
The caregiver as defined would be, a 16.
So you'd like that word to be guardian.
Parent or guardian.
A question about that.
Yes.
The last paragraph, the unbulleted one. So it looks like we've been defining child as people 9 and under and youth as people over 10.
We kind of got rid of that distinction, but yeah.
So let's just scenario, 13-year-old is alone in the library building at closing. Does that person need an adult or police to escort them? What is the age at which the cutoff is? Because I think that paragraph should have an age.
9.
Yeah. Was,
It's in the first bullet.
so it'd be 10. Wait, is it
9.
9 and
9.
Should we?
I mean, they shouldn't be here anyway, but if they,
But I think that should be added in case they didn't catch on that this is how we're defining stuff.
The last paragraph should say, if a child ages 9 or.
Should we put a definition in the top of what a child is and what a patron is? And just
that
make that,
might be-
and it applies to all.
Because there's
So
like
you-
children and youth in the first paragraph, and then we've got patrons in the first bullet.
well, we
We
took
took it.
out, it did say the first bullet originally up there said children refers to those under age, 12, but it's really,
So I guess so children, patron, caregiver, adult, guardian
And
So-
are the 5
Youth
keys,
is also here.
and youth is still in there.
well, I think we,
Trying to get rid of the
Youth is a freshman.
yeah, children and youth.
So if one suggestion I would have is in this policy, we ought to put those 5 defined. And then it keeps all the bullets clean. Is that, and we can get rid of the references in the bullets. So let me try to understand, child is 9 and under, patron's 10 and older. Adult is what?
Well, the adult you're
Is-
looking for parent.
Well, so
But then this bullet doesn't need to even talk about closing, right? Like if a child's alone in the library who's 9 and under, they're not supposed to be here alone in the library. So staff should attempt to get a caregiver and then contact police afterwards, regardless of if the library is
But I
closed or not.
I think
right?
part of, one thing that was suggested to us is if this actually happens, they can hand them the policy. I don't know, it just said.
if like a 9-year-old wanders in here by themselves in the middle of the day, it's a little bit different than the building's closing and it's 7 o'clock. So this like child is alone, have the police come is like kind of a lot of policies have this in from a lot of libraries. It's
Where it's
2
a little more
inch.
lenient if it's during the day.
They got here on their own. They're gonna, find their way home on their own. Is kind of, I know, well, as a parent, I wouldn't send my child out, but that's like a judgment call. This doesn't happen very often, but as we have these new, walkable residences, it was happening, and then the staff was sending something home, and then they're looking at it and they're like, wait a minute, it says 12 on all this stuff and all of our stuff says 10. And so that's where this came up.
That
With-
good context.
Also the signage is very confusing down there because it's like 5th grade. Some kids who are homeschooled don't know what grade they're in, or they don't go by, traditional grades. And then also, some of it says 10, some of it says, so we're going to like age-based in our signage. And so we needed to get the ages really clear in our policies.
Can I just ask you, if we're defining, if we're gonna put the ages so clearly defined, like, so if you're closing, you have a 10-year-old, you just.
If they're here by themselves.
Marcy, did you say this was a state definition? Is it's now state?
State law. What?
No.
State law is
The state was
It's standard practice and.
You know, the librarian can't say, you can get home okay, right? You know?
Yeah, or like do you have a phone? You wanna call call your ride? I mean, like that kind of stuff will happen, but we can't stay here till like 9 o'clock hanging out till, whatever, and alone. So we need to have two staff members, because that's a good rule of thumb when being with
Any
children.
concepts, we can debate how we want to format it with the definition, that's a secondary thing, it's from us as a board. And key concepts of the ages and how to, content questions specifically on this. I feel comfortable.
So I just wanted to be clear, are we comfortable with changing caregiver to guardian?
Yes.
And then we can do definitions, or just the last paragraph needs to have a child under. A child safety.
Yeah.
I think if a child, 9 and under.
So will I encourage a motion, someone's on this policy, so. Is that-
And then one of,
Who's seconding it?
second.
So any more discussion, so again, it'll be as edited with the minor changes of guardian and putting specifics of ages. As necessary to make the document consistent and readable.
And you guys will deliver a clean approved copy to me.
Yep.
And then I will get that out on the website.
Any further discussion?
I would say we don't need youth, because we haven't
Right.
defined that.
Right.
So we'll have to edit out.
Yeah, so in the bullet
Okay,
of the
so
photography,
the guardian.
we also say.
Give the age.
So youth is in there twice.
Any other discussion before I call the vote?
No, you do it to me.
I'll do it both.
And send that to me. and
Okay, so roll with it.
I have the rest.
Yeah, so you're, Whitney, you're saying the one above the photography should just say like, library staff will not provide information about the physical presence of children, should it say, or other patrons in the library? Or should we just,
Well, this is a child safety problem.
It's linked to something that's not there. The library.
We
Hmm?
might take it down.
That's it. So the was to change it from children or patrons.
because we don't tell like, if someone calls and says Ted here, it could be like,
Or patrons of any age.
no, patrons of any age.
There someone to would provide information to the police, provide that information, like to know.
It's how they're using the library privately. We did have an interesting thing come up. The police were looking for some kiddos that took a little walkabout at recess the other day. And well,
Just kidding.
they weren't at the library. And so it was kind of a philosophical, like, would we tell and I'm like, if a child and they were under 9, shows up here at the library unattended, then, and the police are looking for them, then, we can say that we have 2 7-year-olds here. We don't have to say that who they are, what they've been reading, what. Yeah, I don't know if it was a 7.
They would never tell us.
Okay, so I'll call the vote, sorry, put those edits,
Yes.
all those in favor?
Right.
Aye, Brenda, Macy, good, okay,
Yes.
I'm hearing opposed. It passes, the motion passes. Okay, thank you.
My child would think some.
Patron time.
That's so scary.
Oh, my child went missing last summer. I was wondering if you'd tell the police you were here. Here's the pet star agenda. They did that.
The pet store.
All right,
Oh,
Margaret,
Okay, patron code of conduct. So we have. Sorry, my computer is.
I have up on the screen. So
Okay, great, thanks. So it had to do with snacks and.
Goodness.
That,
You always answer a phone.
It's almost 6:30.
You always do.
yeah,
Everybody. Holidays.
I attended to.
Oh, you did. Sorry.
So,
So one of the concerns is that SNAP was becoming very onerous to the staff because they're running around being very, you know, policing the snacking, and so about that, it was something that the staff and brief brought to us, and he said it was just too much, and we agreed, and so we would like to allow people to eat snacks, not.
We're not gonna like advertise like,
Or pizzas sent to Uber Eats or whatever. Oh, reasonable snacks.
if you have like, well, so we feel like it was eroding our relationship with our patrons of all ages. We were having to police small children and toddlers, saying you can't have your goldfish here, you can't have your cereal, you know, you have to sit on this square.
Wait, so they're
Um,
released from the activity to snack?
If you guys, you have the power here to do that, but also up here, you know, if a student or anyone was having like a granola bar, we were having to like, you know, I mean, this isn't like a full 10-course meal, or, you know, a lot of people know if they bring their lunch here, which they do, they can eat in the digital lab, they can eat in, you know, the community room. But it's becoming quite the use of staff time to be like, are you eating? You know, and then it again is another barrier.
Sure.
So I don't know the original, maybe it was because the library was new and we didn't want to get it dirty or what.
well, I think there was smells,
I
types of food was part of the issue.
And the wiggle room had ants. That's
Mhm.
goldfish, I would always find like sitting there, so I.
Yeah, there was talk of ants. There was also talk of maybe different heads of facilities having different rules, but the staff would really love to just stop policing people from having a granola bar in the library while they're you know, here. Obviously, if people are messy and, you know, they're not cleaning up after themselves, then that's a conversation in our code of conduct that, you know, comes up because it talks about like using the space and cleaning up after yourself.
Which is why I brought cookies.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, so paragraph 2, we have all drinks should be elsewhere. Would it be better to say in the spaces, because there are spaces you can eat in the library, instead of naming those spaces rather than a sort of nebulous elsewhere?
Maybe it should be, let's see, and meals should be eaten.
Outside of the
Or
library.
in the digital.
In the digital lab or in designated areas.
So sometimes like if there's a meeting in the digital lab, we let people eat in the community room, you know, or something. So I think internal signage can do that. I don't know if it needs to be named in policy. Like also like we don't allow people to eat or drink around the computers. It's not mentioned in here, but by the computers, there's signs that say no food and drink. So
Second question is about nuts. What do you want to do about nuts?
Does that go to code of conduct, or is that just you know, just crazy talk?
I think that we can't really control all foodborne allergens. It's, you know, I mean, the wheat in this cookie or the dairy in here could be just as
The brace.
I had a student who went down like the shop in
Yeah.
my class last semester, so I'm really thinking about nuts. Because it's an airborne thing, so I don't know if people just get things like this to the library if that's the case.
we had a conversation, I did have a conversation with them downstairs about like, do you see stuff in these cooking programs with allergens and stuff? And they're like, we're aware of it, people will disclose if it's a thing, but most don't. You know, having kiddos now who are grown, thank goodness, with food allergies, like most adults and people kind of know what they can and cannot do, but we can't policy out of everything.
My thought was,
I would think if there is a kid that or a family that just closes, like we have a severe allergy, then we can be very mindful of like the programs that they attend in the space and that without it making.
I wasn't actually suggesting that change policy necessarily,
Yeah.
but if the idea is to roll this out on the down low,
Mhm.
then that also means that people who have the expectation that most of the library is food free
Mhm.
are now in a space that's not food free. And so I don't know if that's
Set that expectation. this policy before.
Well, just that all the signs say like you can only eat food in these spaces. So if I'm a parent with a child who thinks that's the case, but now that's changed, and I don't know that, then I'm not being able to make an informed choice about that. So that was my concern about nuts.
I feel like you could try to say that nuts can only be eaten in the designated spaces, but then that just doesn't feel, that feels like
Then you're
being
policing
only in the
nuts.
deep end of the pool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can ever policy or sign everything out.
Yeah.
But
I think
it,
a
But it's
concern
a-
we ought to-
It's a concern, like if people want to bring it to us, we can try and be as accommodating as possible.
so it might be worth having signage towards the front of the library that shares that there's been this change.
That's what I'm saying, like
That
doing this physically might not be
Yeah.
the most responsible way to go.
So I think we can change some of our signage and also our code of conduct, to reflect that these changes, they're not in there anymore, but
Not like to invite a free for all.
yeah.
Like food, but just this has changed, be
Yeah.
aware of this if you're.
Yeah.
Discussion from the fourth paragraph, fifth paragraph. I didn't talk about it. So,
Good. Oh, that's good, because
yeah,
I was.
I should have knows about this discussion, then I had to open up a one final discussion.
And then that language just mirrors the language that's in the
It's updating.
Should we take out and use?
And the caregiver was still okay.
I think this
Cares-
is
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a parent, or even if it's specifically to you.
People. leave.
Great.
So I understand why it's. Anything else change? Doesn't appear. Okay. So,
Sorry, and the city. The city already has something in place where they can't, you say drinks must have lids, but that's implying non-alcoholic, right?
well, you guys added the word policies to the end of this because the city had written this no alcohol for the building. It's a policy. It's not like a
So you're correct.
yeah. So that word policies, even though it doesn't really say alcohol, implies that people they have to abide by federal, state, and local laws and policies. I mean, there's a lot like that's another one of those things that was really kind of on the down. There's no signage that says that. But then, of course, when we have Illuminate in here, there's a bar that's set up in the Welcome Center. So to me, it just seems a little problematic, but I'm new.
I'm happy to, I move to accept the changes.
So
second,
can I just say, move to accept the current changes, and we did make some small edits as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll second.
in seconds, any further discussion with you?
And I'll recommend to the kids area especially to make some signage available for those who might have allergies.
All right, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Brenda? I hear two distinct voices on the call, so I think that is correct. Seeing no no's, the motion passed. Thank you for all you for that. Thank you.
I'm gonna step out and get these tablecloths
Okay.
now too.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot that. I wrote it on my paper and I didn't
All right.
go get it, but I will go get them now.
So next communications, anything
Oh,
from
we
the
take-
communications team? Anyone want to
Oh,
share?
communications is continuing to vision and think about how we want to go forward. We can have a meeting next week. Yeah, I'm trying to remember whether we've met since this, but our sort of goal for the coming year is to increase people's awareness of the library, and share library stories. Rebecca wrote for the bulletin, South Burlington Bulletin, I think about sort of the library around holidays and how to be frugal and sustainable and use the library. And then I have one coming out in the other paper in the next week, hopefully. That's about what's new at the library, new director, New York Times, new hours.
Awesome. So many.
It's a really good article.
Well, that's because you give me good quotes.
Okay.
And yeah, I really encourage them to put it at the beginning of the month because it shouts out the Sunday refreshment things, which only works at 10 Street.
By the way, did you guys see in the other paper, they had like the top 10 digital articles of the whole year? And they were all about the school district, except for the one that was about Bree.
Oh, yeah.
Number 9.
It was awesome.
Well, and we were on the page of the other paper the other day, for the storytelling event that we had. And I managed to sound very impressive in my quote there. I was like, I said that. I do want to show you something real cool before I go get tablecloths that has to do with communications. So we've been working with Anna from the data department, and she has created a really cool looking map. Oh, I might not be screen sharing, but oh.
Then the next day, you know,
Okay, but anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this real quick, and I'll talk about it more in communications. But this is all the people have library cards in South Burlington.
Oh, the distribution's way better than I feel like our hunch.
And so, yeah, so when we do, you know, planning of, and you can go down and look even closer, this is by age, but we also have data by school and by school catchment area. And so it's kind of cool. And we don't really have someone who's 120. That's an error in entering, you know, and no one's -2. But anyway, it's kind of cool for communications fun. We're talking about tabling or whatever. So we'll dig into this a little bit more, but this is a project that we've been working on. Yeah, and you know, it's kind of neat to see that. So more to follow on that. Yeah, I thought I'd just show you that, and I'll go get some tablecloths
And the
and
communications front, I also drafted an internal survey for distribution, so I'll send it out to the communications of our comm squad, and then we could discuss it. Went back and forth, like trying to adjust the level of commitment while also trying to get valuable information. So I think that's where I would just love like the most input from comm squad before we pass it.
Awesome. Sorry, one thing. I know you're so excited to watch.
No.
Also,
Let's make sure we do our proper due diligence. So
the other
please go
thing
ahead.
we talked about was that we have done a lot of flying and all the flyering is the event based, but there are shops and organizations that would host a more permanent something that was just like a poster for the library. So I've been in touch with Andy about designing such a poster, that we could sort of like not have to go every other week, right? Just be like, here's our poster.
Like a calendar kind of thing, or
Just a poster with a QR code that goes to the library website. He says that he can't do it this month, but maybe next month.
that's great. That's
Much more.
Yes, so look forward to distributing those about the place. I'm so ready to swap.
And you should just do a poster that's like, scan this to see what, like, sorry, I'm sorry, I just had to just straight up once more. Where it's like the highlighted event of the month for youth and for adults, and so like people don't actually know where the QR code's gonna go, and there's like a curiosity component that makes them like want to scan it to know what the mystery is behind the a curiosity code. Sorry.
It's like my wife invented the word Finnesia for when she gets Amazon boxes, has no idea what's.
That's very.
I was like, oh, I got Finnesia. All right, time has come to try and tackle this thing. So Brenda and Stacy.
Chocolate chip cookie for this.
Yeah.
Please.
Obviously, we'll be doing some stuff interactively, but it's gonna be a lot of just writing down initially, so if you could, so let me get background on this. So this is an activity to kind of just, do like a brainstorming, kind of just get everyone's input, and we do it all individually. So we want you to look at what you think the strengths of the library are, what the weaknesses of the library are, what are the opportunities for the library, and what are the threats. In the spreadsheet that I sent out, There is some definition as to what we're looking for, on what a strength is, and what areas to consider as equipment. So based off what the one I sent out earlier, any questions on what we're trying to gain in the activity before I go through the administrative aspect? Stacy and Brenda, you're good?
I'm
In the
good.
room? Everyone seems good. Okay, so I am going to pass out different color postage. Select your color.
Wow, that's very exposing.
Okay, so you have your own colors.
Second everything.
Plus one, plus
And
one.
then I have markers here you can write, try to be as legible as possible, try to be as reasonably brief as possible. Part of the reason I gave you smaller post-its is so we don't get epistles written on the post-its. It is to be reasonably concise, but try to convey your theme. And what the activity will be is I'm gonna put up on the wall an SWOT in 4 different locations. For the next, I'll say till 7 o'clock, start writing down what you think, and it can be all over. You can think of an S, you can think of a T, you can think of an O, whatever it is, then put them all in front of you. And then as you fill up a space, you can go and put them up in the wall. What we will do afterwards, if we still feel the energy, if the cookies haven't worn off, is we will try to do what I call it, it's an affinity diagram is what I call it, is where we start all looking at each of those S's and start looking for commonalities. We start grabbing post-its together. Because chances are Holly or Margaret are going to say essentially the same thing in their own words, but then we could coalesce that. At the end, I will take a picture of everything, summarize everything in a spreadsheet, and then we'll send it out there, and then we'll begin working on this as to what does this translate into, how do we try to come up with either a strategic plan or even some direction for Bree and Herman's meeting. One idea on each. So go through, we have plenty of post-its, start spitting them out. Just give you an idea of Rebecca, because she was so enthralled by this and she's not here. Oh, my God.
You want me to write her idea?
So we will probably start writing her so you can start looking. And the other thing is, the idea is when you start looking at other people's ideas, it may generate an idea from you that either is similar or marginally next to that. Write those things down. So this is a brain dump. No bad idea. For Brenda and Stacy, if you could do the exercise yourself, write it on a piece of paper, then send it to me, whatever, but over the next 15 minutes.
I'm remote posting.
You got remote posting, okay. So
I'll put it in the chat.
I'm one person who's like this strength and also a weakness or twice.
write it twice. Yep. Yeah, so every idea, whether you think it's in any of the 4 categories, you write that and we have multiple times. Okay,
Okay, you want me to do this too?
I would love for you.
Okay, I was getting tablecloths, so I didn't get
But yeah,
the initial directions, you know, and I usually would be really well prepared, but I've been.
Yes.
Is it C that has?
It's good that you, it's good that we don't, it's good that you.
So. Ted, do you have a printout of this? Cause or something, cause I can't move my screen off of
Yep.
my, thank you, thank you.
Did you say CD for us?
Oh
That's
my God.
So if you're thinking of ideas, look at other people, putting them up, and shoot more ideas and make sure there's a in line with what other people are just putting down, feel free to look at others. Not a, and it's not a contest to put the most post-its. It is.
Say that.
I'm sure our handwriting is exactly the same.
What? Yep.
And as you walk up on the wall, if you see one that you think is very, very close to you, and you think you could start putting them together, like fill the back that person would say. It's both, it's kind of saying what you can, they say the same. I can't read someone's handwriting, I will ask for clarification since I know it's yours. And just to let you know, Rebecca did this while on vacation. Right, so, Sean,
Oh my gosh.
she said this to patients, and she was just, I'm like, you do not need to do. She's like, no, I love these things. Oh my god.
Put it on there, because it's worth the discussion. Yeah. It's not a discussion.
Yeah, any idea, put it up there, put it up
Put that
there,
there.
please.
But it's on my.
It's.
Yeah.
The only reason actually, I like the color being anonymous, but the only reason I'm doing it is for handwriting and. It's not
No, no, it's okay.
Sure.
Oh.
Spelling S still is a little different, but I'm still.
I did that.
Yes.
I don't put strengths and weaknesses next to each other. No,
Oh, no, I
there's a
feel,
reason for that.
The walk one.
oh, I feel like I have made just all over the table here. That's it. I tend to be a more positive person though, so my abilities. I feel bad for the town meeting TV, like.
For the purpose of note, I think if we can get the board conducted swap.
And that, like, what I'll do is when I summarize the thing, I'll try and put it in a printable thing and then you can add it to it. And the notes are.
Because while it's covered. But strategic plan will be the outcome of this.
Yeah, you could just work session or brainstorming session.
Yeah.
Write it.
We have scheduled 5 minutes, but.
We need more time for you. I'll do it.
This is Texas season. And just submit a little bit of me. Yeah.
Yeah. Change like this one. I think it's dark. You get your common opinions. So. As you finish up your ideas, the next step is to look at what people wrote. And we can discuss as a group or you can individual and then people can change your opinion. Is kind of group them together as you see it and move it around. If you think that someone put a group together and you don't think they're associated, you can kind of, we can have a group of a larger discussion, but. The whole idea is to start looking for the themes and.
Can we move them together?
Like, well, that's another thing. If you think it belongs in another spot, you can either copy that, post it and put it in the other spot and then we can discuss it. Or go to the person and say, hey, I think this is a threat and you thought it was an opportunity, talk about it and figure out where you're agreeing. So it's okay, but yeah, or you can agree to disagree and put it in both spots.
And I'm giving your computer back.
Okay, thank you.
Opportunities, external conditions that are helpful to achieving the library's objective. What external trends can the library take advantage of? I would say this is. I think it's upside down.
Yes, that's what I guess. Thinking of audiences, would that be knocking it or no? Sure. There's a whole of that, oh, this. Couple of unions upstairs over here to put this together. Yeah, I'm gonna pay them. I'm right behind you, Susan, and if I would go to that, I'd see. Just. Union is over there, the pod, but that's the city road. Was it sharing all the. Sorts of things ultimately. With all these marking. I didn't write it because somebody was open it and I was like.
I read Teen Librarian and we have a teen who is about it. Instead of
We have
someone.
Delbert, who I think is still a teen.
Spirits.
And do you guys mind if I just talk to them?
Oh, there's it.
I'm gonna put everyone next to the. I think it's all fine. And they're just gonna leave
Watching it in my western now with like.
It's up and down and tell
Oh,
them.
right, they're not.
What western? Are we watching? Was it 5 minutes? No, we're just here. No.
So sometime in the next few minutes, go around each of the 4 areas and see if you've seen groupings or get ideas and see what you think, and then we'll. Thanks.
It's just self-incidental. Just self-incidental with bank rolling. Oh, okay. That is crazy. Accessible on page. Oh, yeah. What is it?
Staff.
Yeah.
Sunday get moved. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, this is just, yeah. Oh, and speaking of, we got, I think we got, there was no wrongs too. Maybe the room checks. Yeah, we were going. That's the financial sports.
And the other thing, as we get into this, as we group, then we'll start looking for corollary ones that are kind of similar, but maybe independent. They could be next to each other, so we start building a diagram as to. So an example being something that may be iCast Studio and digital. They may be close to each other, but they're distinct, so you're at. Eventually have to get to some strategic themes. So we need to see things that are. corollary to each other or have a maybe a broader common theme that we want to look at, and then eventually we'll look at across the 4 buckets to see if there's common themes.
One question after.
Yeah.
We're not there for that.
No, but then I feel like I had a conversation with someone, it was when I met with Bree, where it's like, it will cost more to administer it than it would actually make off of it.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Okay,
That
wasn't It was just, I knew it was like a, no offense, but like a leadership type of life, so it must have been very, the first notable dollar, exactly.
Yeah, Jesse came and gave us a sort of.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't there for
Jesse.
Jesse.
Listening section, told us to see what's happening, we all said that sounds bad, and she's like, yeah, we're doing it.
Oh, so it's like, there's no conversation about it, it's happening.
If you read about it in the paper, they started to do the red cards for it.
There are 10,000.
You guys are so good at
in the city
reading.
center.
I'm like,
Well,
why
that's
is
my
it?
horoscope in there actually, because I read it every week.
I should make something I wanted.
It's my vote.
I know, and I called them and, because I was getting 3 at one point, 3 every single week, and I went to the post office, and I'm like, you don't have to deliver me any if it will stop me from getting 3, this is just a waste of paper.
The vendors and the businesses on the street are really driving it. Because if you just park there all day, then I will go to Blissby because it's a place for me to park.
You need to pop in and pop in.
And just see if there were any businesses that wanted to give in.
Yeah.
She sort of was like, well, we want the red line, and I was like, this thing.
I see a lot of empty spaces over there.
I like this about it because I've been here since the start of the whole tip thing. I feel like I've really been sold the bill of goods because it's that thing was because we needed to bring businesses and blah, blah, blah. They took the money to build the tip district from the school funds. I don't know if it's never close. I don't know. So here we are, and now this is what we need more. Get better businesses. Something else.
What are the right businesses? Do you want more food?
We're still being
She's
required.
like, we could get H&R Block. This was public meeting before.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's the, I asked, and she said we could get H&R Block in here tomorrow.
We don't want.
But we want H&R Block. And I was sort of like, is there a middle ground?
I think that that's an interesting position for the city to take because it feels very like, well, do this or else. Like it feels very
curated.
curated, and I don't want to say threat, but
What is the timeline for paid?
For parking.
Yeah, paid parking,
All my funnels.
like this year? Yes.
It's an opportunity, it's going where it goes. Yeah.
All right, so Stacy and Brenda were kind of back here, so, you gotta look at what people's ideas were. I'm not gonna take much more time today, because I wanna do this in spurts, so I wanna give you guys what the next step's gonna be. So the next step's gonna be is I'm gonna take pictures of each one of these up here, I'll take the Post-its down as well. And then I'm gonna summarize this in some sort of spreadsheet and everything and send it out there. What I want you to do on that is you individually look for some common themes that you see across these. I'll put them in initial buckets that you've got done, do that. Then the fun exercise comes the next time we get together. We're gonna try and discuss those common themes, and then each of you is gonna get 20 votes. You get to vote on whatever thing you want, and you could put all 20 votes on paid parking. You could put all 20 votes. You have full discretion to tip the scale. It's not one vote for one idea. It's, you have 20 votes. You get to put it on whatever idea you think is the most important to like, and then we will look at the collective votes and decide these are the voting priorities, and then we'll start building a strategic plan. So the reason we do this 20 votes and you can put 20 on one is it allows you to really kind of feel what that is, but then if someone else, it promotes a lot of discussion. So it's a way to make this a little bit more engaging and makes the process work. Trust me, whether you've done it that way or not.
It's really your idea of fun.
Well, it's a subject that's not fun.
Put my closing date out until after the next meeting. 20 votes on marketing budget, so.
On this subject, it's really, really. So Marty, yeah.
So, okay, I know this is maybe a question for later, but why would we put any votes on any of the positive stuff? Are we voting on what we think is the most urgent need to be looked at? Like, I don't know that I.
Where do we,
Vote
so the
on-
vote is, where should our focus be as a board
Oh, okay.
on key ideas to drive
Okay.
this part of
But-
the
Question, what we said, we all agree that these are sort of our strengths.
Right.
No one's really gonna vote on those, right, because they're not a place where we wanna spend our time and attention. But there might be
We
something
might not
out there
agree,
that
though. We might not agree with it. Okay.
So some of us have unionized staff and some of us don't, right, so if we just use that as a praise.
So the only reason I'm giving the vote, we may not ready for voting next because we have to look at ideas and everything, but there's also some people who voted on strengths before saying, we have, this is strength, but we need to hit this hard.
Yeah, then we
So
can't.
there
lose it.
is,
Right.
so there is some things that you can take a strength saying, we're good at it, but we gotta be real good.
Right. Okay.
And
So-
it's gonna add the input from the other people who weren't here. Because Marty had said she had a lot of things
Yeah,
to.
so Brenda and Stacy, send me your list, I will put it
Yep.
and try, we do this, and then we'll try and get Marty's input as well, and go from there. This is a start. It's gonna take a little time, but I wanna kind of do 30-minute chunks every month on this, try to make it as fun. as
Imagine
possible.
it.
Yeah, this is, I've done these things for 3
Yeah.
workshops. This is, you get from point B and then you walk out with it, it is painful. But by doing 30-minute chunks, try and do little things. and
Thank
try
you
and
for
do the
putting
same.
all this. This was a lot to put together.
Yeah.
So thank you in advance.
Mhm.
And also,
Okay,
first, just.
Yeah.
so you're doing small chunks, and you're all walking out with the smoke.
And Can I commandeer like a little more time,
You may.
and end on something? So I was prompted by some of these Post-its to remember to talk to you guys about the changes we're making in library cards, because I saw that on some of the things. So not only did we talk about the fee when we're talking about library cards, but we are simplifying the process. So the end goal of this is to, yes, get a library card application online. Yay. Hearing that's what people want. But it's, before we did that, we needed to simplify the actual library cards that we issued. So, I don't know if anyone is able to open that little presentation from Sue.
Yeah.
Not everyone was. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay, so that people can see it from, let me see. I think it's over this way. Okay, but that's not what I want. I want this. Since this was made in Canva, it was hard to share. So unless you have Canva, you might not have seen this. But anyway, and sorry, you guys are gonna go away. So right now we had, these are 6 of, I think, the 8 different kinds of library cards that we issued here at this library, which to me was like, what? We have how many? And as training new staff and myself, I found it very onerous to have so many different kinds of cards. And then it was also confusing to the software and lots of different ways that this is confusing. And so we also had a different application for every one of these kinds of cards on a different colored piece of paper. And so now, looking at that, and this isn't like me, like, this was very driven by like having conversations with Sue and being like, how can we make this easier? What can we do? There's now sorry, I can't like take that out, but there's a universal card application. It's got a nice title that we can't see right now. And now there's and that's for staff only. So the staff really gets to determine what card is being made here, not the, people, but basically it's the same information. And then there's a couple of questions if you're an SB employee, if you're under 12, if you're, in this teen category, that are very clear. We also did a new procedure for kids over 12. So in my mind and in many other libraries' minds, the act of getting a library card should be private, or having a library card. We still had required kids 16 and under to get a signature from their parents. So there was a 4-year gap there, so that their parents were still having to be involved. So currently they needed a signature, and they also needed, 17-year-olds needed to state whether they gave consent for people to access their library card. But we've changed that moving forward to go with the new law that is 12, so 12-year-olds can apply for a library card without a parent's signature.
We can change that to patron if we need to share this with anyone. Youth ages 12.
Oh, yeah, no, this isn't kind of internal, but anyway, and then there was this like, well, what if a 12-year-old loses a book and, then we have to, whatever, the loss in that age group is very rare, especially if they're a 12-year-old who is self-directed to come to the library and check out materials. And so we can still send a letter home to them and they can open it. We cannot control who opens it. But that's one of the changes that we made. So now our kind of under 12 to 16 crowd can get a library card on their own if they so choose. Also, we were currently giving temporary cards to local college students, people who were living here short term, or folks who are unhoused or in a shelter. Those seem like very intrusive questions to ask someone if they fit into any of those categories. So like, are you a college student? No, maybe they're just like an 18-year-old kid who's, or maybe they're in the military, or maybe they're in the guard, or they're whatever. Do you plan on living here on a short-term basis? I don't know, so they were, and then those were restricted, also came with restricting physical materials only, could only check out 4, couldn't do any interlibrary loans. But moving forward now, if you're a local college student who rents an apartment in South Burlington, you are a South Burlington resident. If you are renting your apartment for 6 months or 10 years, you're a South Burlington resident. People come and go. If you're a college student, like you have a UVM dorm address, then you need to get a Fletcher free card because you have a Burlington address. But then you can of course use your home card privileges here. So right now, the only folks who are temporary residents are those who really are unhoused or in a shelter, and they do need to give us a way to communicate with them, whether it's an email or a phone number, or I get my mail at COTS or something like that.
So externally, do we communicate that as you don't have an address, then that's how a town card goes to someone without an address? Is that
They get
what
the
language
card.
are we using?
Well, they come and apply for a card and they say, like, I don't have a South Burlington, address. Do you have somewhere, it's a conversation that's had at the desk.
It's not like
private
written somewhere.
No. And I mean,
tabling, we can just say like, go talk to the desk, anyone can get a card.
right.
Like-
Yeah. And if we've also talked about when we do tabling, we'll try and have a staff member who can make cards so that someone can leave with a card if it's possible. And so staff is well trained in, what category.
Yeah.
And they don't look any different. It's not like the temporary card is red, or anything like that. So they just expire in a short amount of time. We also, for equity and ease for computer use, temporary residents are now going to have the same access to our digital collection. But they are still limited to 4 items and no interlibrary loans, but there will not be a fee. The physical items are harder for folks to keep track of without a residence, and so that's why we limit the physical items, but the digital items are actually way easier because they're just returned automatically. And many of our unhoused patrons do have phones. They can still check those out. Yeah.
Should we eliminate the fee from the fee schedule that we looked at today? Eliminate the temporary resident?
Was it on there?
Yeah.
We said something about that.
It was
Yeah,
on.
we said that we're not gonna charge them $10.
No, but on the.
Oh, we
on
have
the
a fee schedule, yes,
User fee schedule, the one that.
that
Right.
Ted sent.
I need to.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be count. Do we have a concern about temporary student library things stuff?
There is a form like a waiver. I will say that sometimes the stuff just goes, no matter what.
Correct.
And it's not always by who you might think.
Yeah, because I was wondering just in general, maybe that's a broader question, library things, or we see.
I think that that's like maybe a Sue question to kind of think about, you know, as being in charge of the library of things, but in general, the library of things stuff is it gets back, you know, but it also just goes missing from the shelf every once in a while.
We'll leave it for a discussion on library things.
And then, yeah.
Yep.
And then this is also new. It's the changes to the work in SB. So currently, if you're an employer, you worked in SB, you had to show your ID. But if you live in a home card town, you had to get your home card and then you could like use it here. But going forward, and talking, this was a lot after talking to Burlington, who also has like a work in Burlington card. People see access to our superior digital collections as a benefit of working in South Burlington. So, you know, like someone, and so that's why a lot of people in Burlington get Burlington cards. That's why people in South Burlington might want to. It's kind of a benefit of working in the town. We still want to encourage them to get their home cards so that their home library gets circulation and they can request ILLs. But it's really the digital access. Okay, and that's that. So Sue prepared that and I said I would show it because I thought it was really a good presentation. But those are some of the changes. So in order to move towards that goal of putting our library cards online or being able to make them online, we need to simplify the process of library cards in general here at the library. So I asked Sue to look at that, and I think her and her team did a really good job of coming up with some ways to simplify it. And I think it took a new set of eyes, like, why do we have so many pieces of paper here at the desk? You know? Yeah, and I think the barrier for people, you know, for both staff and patrons, it just got like eliminated. We'll make this project simpler. And the idea that we were charging for temporary cards for some of our homeless residents, it's just like, oh.
Any other business? 7:15, meeting adjourned.
And I'll send out the tax form
Please
to
take
you
your
guys.
guys for the road if you need them.
I don't know if there's
Applying
something.
for next year, and taking pictures of it, so I just need to take them.
Okay, Brenda and Stacy, you guys can have a good night.
Feel better?
Thank you so much. Yeah, the whole southwest quadrant's falling apart here.